So, all right. So begins another Golden Finger Challenge. This is in February of 2025. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, let me go over the rules real quick. Basically, the players of this game have to
There are rules.
create something, Mike, for an effect and a story using an object which is absolutely ridiculous. And that's the challenge. It is a creative challenge, and Susan here will help judge. So the with the winner. So this week's challenge uses this. I have to unfold it because I folded it up from a little while ago. This is a paper towel that now has sections in it. It's a paper towel, so they have to come up with an effect and a story for that. So who would like to go first?
Do you want me to move so you can see me? Okay.
Yeah.
You have cool team names like last time?
No, I didn't put them on.
Oh,
So let's start with who's got their microphone on. Tracy, who's on your team?
Bob, Dan, and Crispy.
Okay, who would like to present for your team?
I will be telling the story, and Dan will be performing the magic.
Right on. Okay, so let me highlight both of you.
I'm so distracted by Crispy's background.
I find it very hypnotizing.
I know.
Okay.
So now we see Dan's boobs.
Susan forgets we're recording this, and she'll watch it later, I'm sure.
It's like only fans.
I'm trying to find how to pin. All right, I guess you can just go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, so this is a kind of a family story, something that happened. My grandmother was at Elvis's very last concert. And, Elvis passing out his scarves to the ladies as he did, she got a scarf from Elvis that had his autograph on it and said, "For your eyes only." And this was Grandma's most prized possession. She talked about this every time she possibly could because it was like the greatest moment in her life. Well, unfortunately, old age caught up with her and Grandma passed. And the family's out at Grandma's house. And they're going through everything. And of course, we had that one greedy aunt who all she could think of was dollar signs. Now, she knew that she could take that scarf and get more money from that than everything in the house combined. So when nobody was looking, she wadded that thing up, stuck it in her hand. She was going to abscond with that, make sure nobody else got it. And her goal was to sell that thing on eBay or auction or whatever and make a fortune. And she was going to be set up for life. So she got home thinking of, all the way home, she's thinking about the money she's going to be making, the things she's going to do with it and everything. So she gets home, goes to tell her family about everything. She opens up the scarf to show everybody. And it's blank. The writing had disappeared. Because as Elvis said, this was for your eyes only. And it wasn't for her eyes. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building.
That was cool.
That was very
That
good.
was good.
Very well done, guys.
Kudos, kudos.
I can't applaud because I'm actually holding up my little camera here by myself here. But it was very good. I like that.
Yeah,
Well done.
very fun.
Okay, so
Thank you.
team two in this case, who is going to present and speak?
I'll be presenting.
And let's let the other team guess who's speaking.
Okay.
Grey Wolf.
Yeah, Grey Wolf was my answer for the story on who's speaking.
Yes, we didn't get a chance to, but that's okay. It's the
Okay.
first week of trying that. Yes, I am presenting.
Oh, good.
I tried. I didn't want to, but it worked
So
out
that's
that
where
way.
paper towels come from.
Yes, Jerry had his, and then Jeffrey used something that he's got a sick dog excuse, and Michael is Michael, so it's like,
Jerry, you're here in part.
and I needed Tom's hands because it works out better that way. So that's how it defaulted to me to presenting again. All right. So welcome to another edition of Things You Didn't Know or Didn't Want to Know. Right now, our investigative team has been looking into what happened in California recently. The first thing I'd like to do is have a moment of silence for all of the lives that were lost during those horrible fires and the destruction that it created. Now, those fires, here's where it comes to. There's speculation, or allegedly. We don't know. Were they wildfire, or was it a case of arson? But what we do know is that there was many historic buildings that were destroyed. One in particular was a church. The church was ran by Reverend Bounty. Now, Reverend Bounty had this odd propensity of writing his sermons on paper towels. Now, his last sermon he had finished writing, he had folded it up and had it ready to go for that week. But as the fires grew closer, he was worried that maybe something that he had written had sparked why the fires were coming closer to his church. So he destroyed the sermon. He tore it into pieces. He scattered the pieces. Now, again, as I said, this is being investigated as an arson. So the arson investigators came to the church, and the only thing that they found on the ground were pieces of paper that had not burned. Now, they found this very unusual, so they brought it back to their lab. And the forensic scientists there took the pieces and put them onto a tray. And as they're putting them onto the tray, they noticed that the pieces start to get attracted to each other. And they restore themselves, much the way that a forest restores itself, that the trees will grow again and eventually be harvested and used to build buildings or create paper and create paper towels. But again, they wondered, why would Reverend Bounty destroy this sermon? And what they found, the only thing that was listed that was still legible on the bottom of the paper was a quote from a very famous movie about an extraterrestrial that had come to this land. And his famous last words were, "I'll be back." And that terminates this episode.
Terminates this episode. Oh, Ron, you did it again, you son of a bitch.
All right.
How can you follow that? You can't follow that.
So,
Bounty.
yeah,
We picked up on that really fast.
let
That was
me
hysterical.
please.
That was funny as hell.
Okay. So, take them off spotlight.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please.
Dress.
No, I said off spotlight. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Oh, we need an award. Grab the award.
So, Bob, have we frightened you off yet?
Yeah.
okay. So, The first one, the Elvis stuff was super, super fun. And the tagline, Elvis has left the building. Well played, well played. But I have to say, for team 2, as soon as the Reverend's name was Bounty.
Yeah. However, we do have a rule. We don't give awards to Ron, remember?
I was kind of sold on that from go. But I loved the tying into current events was very, very cool.
Actually, it was pretty inspirational. I like that part.
I am going to point out that the Terminator is not an ET. He's an AI creation, which I don't think qualifies as an ET, but I will let that slide.
Nerd.
But it was a super fun story.
It was a good story.
It was really, there were a lot of little Easter eggs in there that I loved, and I'm a big, big fan of Easter eggs. So I think this time it has to go to team 2.
So that does it. So I'm going to let Susan, on behalf of Team 2, accept your Golden Finger Award. Golden Finger Award. Susan, put your own fingers down. Whenever you see Ron and yeah.
Yes. On the behalf of my team, I humbly accept.
No, that was.
I'd like to thank everybody.
Keep that away from.
I'd like to thank everybody I stepped on, walked over, kicked, and threw under my bus to make it this far to the top.
You put a flag on there. It's kind of a rude finger. All right, so that ends our.
And thank you, especially thank you to Tom for doing an excellent job with the hands part of it.
Yes.
Which is difficult when you're doing something, so far away and coming up with the effect in a half an hour and the story. It really.
But we have managed to exploit the Zoom aspect of these.
Yes.
And there's more to this that I think that we're missing.
Recording just because before we go on.
Yes. I think there was a great switch on everybody's part.
I agree.
On the magic end of things.
Good fun.
And thank you for tolerating me, because mostly what I do is just brainstorm on this stuff and hope something comes out of it.
Yeah. And we've got some other, as I always say, I will tell you some of the other ideas that we did have.